So today we'll discuss about very important topic, which is many people mostly oversight is because of they think that the technical stuff they can do, but the more if you go to slightly in depth, organization look for something about the AI strategy, how you can do implementations. Having the co-pilot and those things, doing the technical stuff is always good. It's always important, but having the strategy is something more important. It's just not the technical team is also the C level and the key business users are have to be involved. So my topic is slightly about that AI strategy and how you as a consultant, as a architect, as a business user also, I mean, I think there's some people who are from business team as well, how they can make this AI strategy more fruitful for your organization, right? So my talk about how the responsible AI has to be practiced. Okay, so I just take 10 seconds about myself. So I'm a Microsoft MVP alumni. I'm a certified trainer as well. And I just work on the Microsoft technologies throughout in my decades of my experience, right? I just do Microsoft tech engineers. Now, because of AI, I'm also learning new technologies from other technologies like from Gemini, which is from Google, because AI is always vendor neutral, so AI can be used by any other thing. So I will share about what I have for you. You can have a look on that. But typically, my base is into Microsoft only. Okay. So about talk about this today, we talk about I won't say part one, but I think I might go to part two about the technical side. But again, let's leave how I can go for. So we talk about something very important. Today we talk about something basics of the tools which the AI provide to us, right? The Azure AI tools for the responsible AI, right? Responsible AI, R and the responsible AI. So that is something which is we will work on, and we also work on something called as governance and the mapping. How we can make our culture, our organization culture, to find the risk and identify the risk for that. Right? These are most important part, which is many organizations where they don't go for that because they think AI is bad for them. But I know AI is always any technology is always good and bad, but how the organization, I mean, talk about the enterprise organizations, how they can use it, the AI features, right? And then we can see some kind of measures and some kind of mitigate risk using tools again by Azure AI Studio. Okay, and then we have a planning, right? Mentioned to keep on telling about operation and any tool. Example, if you work on Microsoft Teams, initially when Microsoft Teams was started, people think that they can do everything, but after that, many security people, many stakeholders also mentioned that the teams has to be controlled. So that's why we have control for teams as well. Team governance is thing which many organizations also go for, right? And then we have some practical demos how thing works. So we'll see the things towards the end. Okay. So again, one most important thing, right? I have slide deck. I will share the slide deck with you in with the Pune community as well as my LinkedIn by on Monday. But most thing I want to share with you is that these slide decks are just for reference, right? And the demos that we'll be showing, they are keep changing. The Microsoft keep on changing the UI. So don't worry. I believe in principles. If you know the principles, then you can get through about how the actual deployment works, right? So let's work on that. So again, what is responsible AI, right? Now, I give me give some kind of a base for that, right? Now, there are three parts I'm going to share with you, right? What is what are these three parts? One is about the bias, second is ethics, and the last part is something called as a legal aspect, right? But this is the most important part for any organization, right? So first thing, bias, right? What is bias? Bias, I mean, we as a people, as a, we also have a bias. People have a color, different skins we have, right? People are brown, white, and different colors, shades of yellow we have as well. So bias is always inherent in our skill set, or also about people who are working with, right? So that is now all the data which we have are coming from the people, right? Whether it's a organization or from the things, right? So these bias are from already in our AI model, right? Typically, we have two kind of bias. One is a conscious bias, second is an unconscious bias, right? And we mostly have to deal with the unconscious bias. Examples, very, very common scenarios, which I've seen in my many demos I've seen, is that people think about women are not good speakers or not drivers, right? But I've seen we have a community people who are Smita. I have seen many community people who are doing amazing technical stuff. Now, you know about Smita, right? She has done amazingly good work. She's done the wrote many books. She is a technical person. People think that only male people do technical stuff. Answer is no. We know the thing. Example, people who are cook. People think that only male people do the cook. So, it's an example of all the people, right? All the top people are Sanjeev Kapoor to Ramsey. These are all top people, but there are people who are really good women as well. So bias is always there, right? Bias is always inside our data model. We have to tweak it, right? That is a very important to dig. The only question is that to which degree we can have our deal with that bias, right? So these are keep on working, right? So all the data models from ChatGPT to Gemini and all, they have always have bias, but we can tweak it. Depends on the our models. Okay. The second thing which I want to share is about the ethics, right? Are we going for our opinion about people? Example, women. I mean, I have example women, right? Always we think that women drivers, males drivers are mostly women are bad, right? That's not a good thing, right? Always we think the people who are it's not a gray and white. Always women like the drivers, they are very good. Example, I've seen one of the example I saw one of the videos in LinkedIn. I found that typically all there was survey and then they found giving the best survey best CEOs and top 100 all were male, only two were female. So this is the biased, obviously, right? Because it can't be allowed that only male people are CEOs. Or and the answer is, there's many people who are male people who are CEOs, but this is not correct. So our data model, our AI model should be correct as well, right? That is something which we have to do. And the last part is about responsibility, right? Now, if AI does something which is not good, right? So then it go to some really bad aspects, right? Think about Samsung and Apple example, right? They have banned ChatGPT because somebody leaked information about their mobile phones and then it's become in public, right? So these are the really aspect, right? So one of the example which I saw on one of the blogs, I found that one of the guy from USA, he put some ChatGPT content and he put in the legal thing in a court in US, and he was fired because he would give a reference which was not correct. Right. So that is we have to very important that when we work on a large organizations, we have to again we have to think about are we going proper way, right? Are we have some legal compliance security are there inside? So we this is very important aspects. So bias, the ethics and the legal aspects are super important in responsible AI. Okay, that is one thing to talk about. Now, one thing to we also share I want to share is that typically at this point of time the AI is I won't say is not so regulated, right? Because it's a black box, right? We don't know. Like example, we make a car. Example, I have a Hyundai car, right? I know how to drive it, but I don't know how my carburetor works, how my petrol tank works. All the details I don't know till I go to a mechanic and he works for that because he know in and out of my car, right? So normal human being, we think as a car as a device and we can do traveling, but we don't know each aspects. exactly happen to our AI models. Think AI model as a car, right? We know everything, different kind of things. We have different kind of cars. One for us are for family cars. One we have supercars as well. So each AI model have different kind of aspects as well, right? Just like a car, we have a small car, big car. We have a car which can have an AI example. Tesla have an AI inside. So different AI are not regulated. So that's why it's very important to have governance and AI framework inside using bias, unbiased, and think using ethics and also the legal aspects as well. This is very important. Only when these framework are set up and established, then we can have trust with the user, and then can be used by, yeah, any organization. So governance, any application, whether it's Azure, Power Platform, anything, governance, one of the most important aspect which I've seen in many large organizations, even small organizations we talk about. Okay. Now, Aroh, you're talking about very generic. Can we give some more give details about how the AI can work in the responsible AI? The answer is yes. There are a lot of things which we can do with Azure AI specifically, right? And we have a lot of tools which are that can help us to help her into privacy, security, and accuracy, right? And compliance. So when you do in any AI model, whether using Copilot or using any Azure AI models, we always have these things inside. And Microsoft already have inbuilt tools so that when you make an AI model, all your bias, everything is already covered, right? So you don't have to think about the governance part, because we have to think about that. Microsoft already may I help to working on that particular tools, the bias and the fairness part, everything is in part of that, right? So you have to just tweak it for your AI solutions. Example, if you're working in a banking, you have to tweak it to maybe the fairness has to be slightly more accountable, right? Maybe some the self-harm kind of tool, we have to bit lower as well. But if you go for something tourism kind of tools, then there could be more slightly more open, right? People can go for tourism, go for Kashmir, other places. The AI model should go for that, right? So it depends on the different use cases. You can go for your AI model. And again, the foundation is very important, right? So if your AI model is not good enough, then your the entire AI solution won't be good. Think about your house. You're making a new house. If the foundation of the house is not good, although you make amazingly good renovation for the house, you're making very nice designs, or have you invested around 100K, 200K inside things, but the foundation is bad. It will be, if something happened, your foundation will spoil, right? So very important, the foundation should be very strong. So AI model, your AI model should be very strong so that all your privacy, security, compliance part is handled by that. So AI model should be your foundation. Okay. Now, I'll talk about a lot of things later on, but let me give you a brief that for the AI, specifically for Azure OpenAI, we have a lot of items, which is called as grounded, inaccuracy, incoherence, traceability, which are shown demo later on, but also about safety and security, how we can make it working. I'm telling you, if you go for large organizations, which just have maybe 10,000 plus, or maybe 10, maybe 5,000 plus, they always look for AI as a the CEO and CTO always think about not good right now. It's not about all, because many organizations are going for, large organizations are doing it. But main thing about, think about healthcare, think about the hospitals, think about financial institutes. They are a bit cautious in AI perspective, right? The co-pilot is they are thinking whether it makes sense for them. So very important that safety, security for any small or large organization is key for them, right? We have a lot of new attacks, prompt injection, a lot of sensitive information, harmful manipulations, and those things are already inside, right? We have seen many cases as that. I've seen one of the podcasts where a person used um, uh, uh, a model to hijack the prompt and then able to go inside the database, right? That is very, very scary, right? I mean, it's a very small example I'm talking about that many people. So when you go for this new risk, we have to think about how we can make it safer for our organization. Think about how we can make it working, right? Now, first thing first, I will talk about about first. This is using this is the our base. Governance is a key thing. Then we talk about all about mapping, measure, and manage in our each slides. Okay. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to think about you as a consultant, your cloud architect, or a business user. Think you as an operation, you are responsible for your AI, right? It's not you, not you. There are a lot of people inside, but you are the person who are managing your AI tools, right? So it's very important to take care of these aspects, right? You have to first you define the use case, right? So again, as a GI, a general AI development, we have followed this particular landscape. Okay, so I'm talking about very important aspect, which is governance, which I'm very, very fond of. Whether it's SharePoint governance, whether it's team governance. Now I'm talking about AI governance. I'm start with my career with SharePoint, then Teams, a Power Platform, and now I'm going into AI governance. Governance is always important. Okay, so let's do the first topic, which is called AI governance, right? So when we again, I mentioned many times, principles never change, the tools change. Okay, so first thing we talk about the AI principles. So Microsoft already have 6 principles, which are called as fairness, privacy, transparency, reliability, and inclusiveness and accountability. And this is also Microsoft vision or Microsoft um, uh, vision as well, right? They want to have reliability, accountability, and inclusiveness, right? So because it's very important to have the data should be secure. These are the principles. Then second is the AI standard, right? What I'm talking to AI standard about the what goals you go for your organizations, what requirements. I'm give an example of a, hospital, very very secure. But think about the tourism, maybe slightly not so important, but also important for the safety and requirement. So you have to give a practice for that. How you make each project have a different compliance, different security, different practices, right? So you have to understand that part. This part is called as a theory and best practices. Okay, and these two parts are practical, right? And if you skip this one, you just for practical, you will fail. The AI tool will fail. So you must have these principles inside first and then do the implementation. I think about example of Power BI. In Power BI, what you do, right? You make your data model, everything. But if you don't talk to your customers, don't talk to your the stakeholders, however, your data model, they will don't like your data model, right? Think about Power Apps also. If you like amazingly good app, but you have not talked to your key stakeholders, maybe C-level or their manager, they will just say no. You make a very good application. So you have to practice these things together as a holistic way, right? So principle, standards, implementation, and oversight, right? Any application you make, you have to think about monitoring, about auditing, right? Think about Power Apps, right? Every 6 months we have to republish, right? Again, in Power Apps, same thing happened to other applications. We have to rebuild at times because of the new features have come. So we always have to report and see that the auditing part for whether it's SharePoint or your any AI model. So this is something which I shared with you is very, very important that you go for that. Okay. And then how we can make the AI strategy. The first thing we do is about your owner, right? Your owner. Now, owner could be your business user, your tech people, or your C-suite. Okay, so this is the you are the owner, right? And again, example, I'm in the cloud architect, so I'm the owner. My stakeholders ask me to Aroh, can you please follow the ethics, our company and the ethics properly done? And then said yes, I will do. So my second step is to follow the my company policies and the ethics which are governed or not. Okay, that my third step will be documentation. What kind of processes, what data model model I'll be using it. Am I using open AI only, or I can use some open source applications as well, like I can use Mistral, which is open source, or many other model from Llama from Facebook. I can use any model, right? So I have to document and share with my stakeholders. So documentation is a very important for any kind of governance part, right? Strategy. Now this can be because people doesn't work in an island, so I have to work with my other customers, right? So it can be internal documentation, also external documentation, that how I can talk with my users externally as well. Because if the organization is global, then I have one documentation for internal um, um, place where all things are done internally in the comp organization. But I also have talk about people who talk my customers or vendors, right? Have a different policy for them. So this is very important when you do AI strategy. The other thing is about the different type of fairness and different stakeholders, people from the from procurement department, from finance team, from legal department. All people should be in that stakeholders. You and IT, you can't do it. So you have to get a permission and approval your stakeholders, may C-level or business user, who give permission that yes, RO for this particular use case, follow this particular project. Think about implementation for Copilot in M65. I can't do myself. I have to get approval by my management, then I have to talk to a different set of people, and then I will roll out to my Copilot inside, right? I do face by face. Similar thing happens to here as well, right? So we have to apply to the company policy, think about different ethics, and also think about what kind of models I'm going for. Am I using OpenAI? I'm using open source as well, right? So this is something very important for strategy. So once you're done this thing, then you have full trust with your uh, internal use cases, yeah, maybe with your stakeholders, and also external users as well, right? Your customers. Okay, so this is very important when you put a governance for your AI strategy. I mean, only two sides. I can talk about 1 or 2 hours about AI strategy, but because we have a limited time, I go for that. Okay, so that is something I go for, right? Now, second thing is about the measuring, right? So you see that I have another thing called red team, right? Aro, what is red team? What is a blue team? So red team is a team in within your organization who are security people, right? They will see whether any kind of risk are coming from. Think about Copilot, IM65 Copilot. So they will do a test. Do they do some prompt injection just for test whether the organization is doing well and all, or they will just call the help desk that we have a new prompt. Can you try it out? Right? They want to test. So the red team is within the organization. They do a test whether AI is can be implemented for this organization. Do these kind of things they do. Okay, and then we have something called measuring, right? We do measure whether the all the tools which we have are can be used ever in our AI, right? Think about MC5 Copilot. Think about Azure AI Studio as well. So they will do the red team, and also business user will do a measuring whether these tools can be used by our AI solution. Okay, about the risk and mitigate. And once these models are go live, right? I mean, your thing, then most important thing that we have to keep monitoring about what any issues we're getting, any prompt injection are happening towards the end after go live. So we have to think about those lines, right? That is something to talk about, right? So if your we have to also evaluate after the AI model is go live, we have to check if the our prompts from different organizations, right? Different teams. Are we doing well? So we have to evaluation. So I will show some tips for that, how we can do it. And then thanks to our Microsoft tool set, we have a comprehensive tools to check the evaluations. We can do some different metrics. We can do some tests of data. And then we have some actionable messages to the our users that what they can do next. So this is the entire thing I want to tell you, and then we can go for demo in just few minutes. Okay. Now, one thing I want to share about that thing, right? We have two kind of AI. One is a traditional AI, and then we have generative AI. Now, Aroh, what are key differences between traditional AI and the generative AI? Okay, the first thing is the in the traditional AI is we mostly focus on only one metric, which is accuracy. I repeat, in the traditional AI, the only thing we work on is accuracy, whether the data which you have gone is accurate or not. Okay, that's the only thing we talk about. That any number of predictions. Example, I'm a student chief. I found that in this exam, I predict that we from 100 students, 98% or 95% will be cleared. They will pass. That is my prediction, and I got 90%. Because my prediction is correct, right? So this is my prediction. But in Gen AI, we have always accuracy is the one thing. We also have one thing which is very important is a ground truth. Because when you have Gen AI, there are a lot of things which can be incorrect, right? Hallucination, right? Where we have something but it's not correct, then obviously it's not good for the organization. So we have to talk about this thing later on, and we have the slides for that. Okay. And then this is the manual thing, right? We can do something, we check, we do manual evaluation, we do some output from the data model, and then we see whether it's output, and we can give a comment that this is correct. This is my data is right. This is my data is correct. So, I mean, I talk about the student thing, so my data is correct, right? So this is a manual. We always use enable humans because they give a more of the right information to us. Okay, so that is what we can do. The second is something called as automated evaluation, right? So in automated evaluation, right, think about terabyte of data, right? No way we can do it. So what we do some kind of checks. We do so for the self harm. We check about the sexual violence inside the image or content. So those things are we can do using the what using the our AI. Okay, that is very important to take note of that, right? So there are two ways. One is a manual way, the traditional way. Second is a automated way. Okay, so that we can do. Okay, now I'm giving you some other aspects as well. Let me give you this. Let me stop sharing and show you something like that. Mhm. Okay, just want to share something which is very important so that you can get the value from this session. Okay, the first one is this. Okay, so first thing is about the yeah quality and performance, right? I give me some times because this is very important topics to I want to share with you. It's about the performance. I'm talking about the Azure AI Studios, right? Talking about the quality, risk, and safety which Azure has already has, right? Now let me give some inputs to you. Give me some few minutes to understand that. I'll share it with you. Groundlessness, right? What do you mean by that? That how accurate, how reliable the content is. Right? Example, I want to give that whether it's in India, how many people in Pune um, have have salary of maybe from 20,000 to 40,000, right? I put the that range, that right. So if my data model is correct, right, it will give me right information. But if my data model tell me, okay, each person in Pune, in IT specifically, I'm talking about finance, they have around maybe 200,000 salaries. I mean, we have maybe uh, 1 lakh per month on there, or maybe 20 lakhs and those things. But it's not grounded, it's not correct. So we always think about the groundedness, which is very important for AI model. So besides the accuracy, again, in the traditional we use accuracy, but here we talk about the groundedness, whether the item is correct or not. Okay. The second thing is about hallucination, right? So think about um, um, I put a comment that the sky is blue, right? And then somebody said, I said, no, the weather is bad today. So it's not correct, right? It's wrong information, right? So this is something which is understand that we are giving wrong information from AI, right? So this is very important. And typically at this kind of the stage of AI, um, we are just a beginner. We maybe in next 2 3 years with the AI will be slightly more stronger, but right now the lot of things which are right in the information maybe not correct, right? So we have to think whether it's ChatGPT, even with Copilot, we have to think first whether that information is correct or not, right? So that is we have to always think about the hallucination is there or not inside. Okay. Then second is a coherence, right? Aroh, what is coherence? Now, what I mean by that coherence mean is that that information from AI when given to him, whether that information is going smoothly and consistently. Okay. Now, I know, can you please give an example? So, give an example. So, example, I ask my AI to make a sandwich. Example, I give a sandwich, please make a sandwich. And then my AI model will give me a logical way that, okay, first you make a bread, then you add your paneer or cheese inside, and then you assemble it and heat it. That is a logical way to do it, right? Coherent. But in my I keep telling, please make a sandwich, and it tell me that give me make a sandwich, and then immediately talk about space travel. That is not correct, right? That's not coherent. So we have to think that when we're giving a AI model to think, the model should have should be coherent, right? Example of bread. I'm making a sandwich. We give bread, ingredients, and assembly. That is coherent. That is very important for that, right? Then other things about fluency. Now, Aroh, what do you mean fluency? Is that how smooth and natural your model is. Example, there should be proper grammar, proper vocabulary, and proper sentence structure should there in the our AI model, right? So, example, I ask a question, a prompt that what will be the weather we like? Okay, what will be my weather? Then the AI model that today is a sunny weather with a slight breeze. Now, this is a fluent response. But if the AI model that weather is today sun, breeze, small speed, which means it's a incorrect English, incorrect grammar, and it's lack the fluency. So again, in the fluency standpoint, it should have a proper English structure, and also sentence are more human-like, right? Not as a robot, right? It's very, very important to talk about. The second thing is a relevancy, right? Second is important that if we ask a question from AI model, should we give a right information immediately on the spot, right? For example, if I ask about what is the capital of India, the AI model should give New Delhi the answer. But instead, because I asked question about what is the capital of India, AI model said I like tandoori paneer. This is not correct, right? Because it's not correct and relevant. It's always because it's based because I asked question about India. So mostly people in India eat tandoori paneer, whatever it is, but it's not correct. So it's not relevant to us. So again, our AI model should be relevant. And then the other thing is called as a relevant score. So what I mean by relevant score is that it should retrieve from correct data, again correct data information, right? So example, I asked about the climate change. So an example in India is a pretty cold right now because I want to ask about weather in Pune example, right? And then is that how the weather is. Then my AI model give me right information, right? This has become colder right now because going in December, but it's unrelated. Maybe the Pune has a famous for Bakarwadi. It's totally not related that to that, right? Again, not related to this, right? So again, something which is important that our AI model should have a very high score in terms of the data, right? And the other thing which called as a GPT similarity. So what I mean by this is that if I give any input to my AI model, any input to AI model, then it should give the right answer to me. Okay. Example, I GPT. Because we are shooting GPT using ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini, whatever it is. So if I ask question from Gemini or ask from ChatGPT or Copilot, I ask sky is blue. Then the AI model will tell me, because I put a very generic statement, the sky is blue. The AI model will tell me the sky is blue as well, because blue is common, right? So it's okay. But I will say that cats are cute. It doesn't make any sense for the AI model. So it should have a similar kind of relevant information to that, right? And then we have something called as a F1 score, which means if our number of items are, if AI model give right information, the score should be higher for them. Example, if based on the precision and the recall information. Example, I have if my AI model predicts that from my 10 emails, 8 are correct information, which means I have a recall information of only two missed, right? But if I scam, my spam mail has only 2 correct and 8 are bad, which means my F1 score is very bad. So these are things which we have to think about that. Okay. Okay, now I'm talking about other features, and let me go to demo soon because I think there's something about jailbreak. I'm talking about the jailbreak and other things. I'm going to demo soon. I think I have around 20 minutes more. So jailbreak, what is jailbreak? Jailbreak is where somebody bypass your AI safety restrictions and he's giving some code inside. Example, if you see an iPhone, initially when iPhone was launched, right? People do jailbreak. It adds more application inside, which is not allowed by iPhone that time. Same thing at Android as well. People can do jailbreak. But iPhone is very, very strict about that. If you jailbreak iPhone, which means that you can add more features and you can your everything your warranty is also off. You can't use it. So jailbreak in AI, which means that somebody hack your AI model and do something very bad, right? So this is a very harmful advice. Example I gave that I'm not doing well in my exam, and then I said to please advise, I need advice. Why should be doing something good? How I can improve myself in my skill and my next exam? And AI said, no, you should go to a bar and drunk. There's a very bad thing, right? I should give some positive feedback to the from AI. So this is jailbreaking, right? Rather than giving a positive thing, I give a negative feedback to as a AI model. Same thing happens to the fairness, sexual defects, and violence and self-harm, right? So these are the few features which our AI model can help in this. Okay, and then I have a lot of slides. I think rather than going to slides, I have more slides. Oh God, rather than going to slides, I just go for a demo, right? I think I will stage the slide with you in few later. Let me go to the demo. I think it's very important to show the demo how it works so that you can have an idea. Okay, so this is my okay. I hope everyone knows about how the Azure works. I mean, this is it's not a beginner course. I just want to share what it does, right? Now, if we want to have my safety, right, about my responsible AI, most important part is to go to Azure AI Studio and you create something called create a hub, right? In this hub, I can create, again, in all the regions doesn't have, so I go for South Central and I create something called as my AI. I put Pune community. And then I just for that one, just use this one and then search for storage. So this is my AI hub pudding. Now, but I take some time now. AI hub take at least 10-15 minutes and we don't have time. So what I'm doing, I do already made something for our use cases. Yeah, 3 hours back, correct? And then I show you how we can actually test our responsible AI insight. Okay. So I go to my responsible AI. Okay. I will do something very important, very important to share with you. Somebody will ask me about this question. So I give you this in Copilot. Again, in Copilot, we are based completely on ChatGPT 3.5 or 4.0 maximum. But if you want to go slightly more different models, the only option is using AI Studio, right? So I can go for maybe I search for Gemini. I don't know, Gemini is not there, or maybe I didn't use it. Maybe I use some other model. I use yeah, Llama Facebook. So here I can use any model. I can check the pricing. I can check the deployment. I can see the what things I can do, whether it's only for text. I want to do something for custom. What language is supported? All things I can do. It check the pricing as well, right? Yeah. So when you do for Azure AI Studios, you have a lot of new models, and every time it always create a new model for us, right? So let me show you with that. Now you're talking about responsible AI. What I will do, I go to my AI Studio and I go AI services. Now there are many ways I can do. I can go for speech. I can go for language, vision. I have more, I will do more sessions right now, but today we focus completely on the responsible AI. So let's focus on that. Okay, I click on content safety. Okay, when you do on the content safety, you see a lot of other things as well, right? So you can see in the content safety, we have something called as moderation of the text, groundness and detection. I mentioned to you about prompt fields, about image detection, all things can we do, right? Now in my demo, I have 4 things to share with you, and then I put everything in step by step later on, but show you how it can do. Let's go for 4 things: text, image, groundedness, and the prompt fields. Okay, so let's start with the text. Okay, so I already have provisioned with the central US, central. What I will do, I want to do a test. Okay, so what I will do, I do a SIFT. I want to put a thing. Think about, I'm going for a campfire, and a lot of people are going for picnic. And our company is Conto, so we are doing a just simple test. We are doing now. Contoso have lot of tents. Tents, right? For picnic, we go for tents, right? We go to I get Pune, other places. We go for other places in Kerala, where amazing beaches we have. So that Contoso sells tents for us, right? And then after that, these people put a comment on Facebook or something on that, right? So I want to say about my Contoso tents are really good, right? So what I will do, I put a safe test, right? So recently I went for camping from Contoso, and it's fantastic. So it's a very good positive feedback, and the heater is very controlled and it's great products. Okay. Now by default in the our filters have always have 4 default configured, right? Now what I will do, I just click on the test. So our AI model is I'm using ChatGPT. Again, I'm not using Llama. I'm not using anything. I'm using ChatGPT only, right? So if we click on allow, you see all contents are safe, right? And if I want to do what I can do, I can make a code, view code. I go for Python code. Anything, I just click on that. Okay. Once it's done, I can use this API in my Power Platform or my Azure, or else outside Power Platform, outside Azure. So once you have API, you can leverage in any other places as well. That is a good thing about how we can call an API using the AI Studio. Super good, super simple to do it. Okay. Now I will do it. I make some configuration, right? Let me do um, another test. And maybe some user didn't like it. So what I will do, I put something called as a harmful content. Okay, I bought a tent. I will say I'm disappointed. You see, it's a bad comment, right? Tent poles are very flimsy and the zippers are always getting stuck. I never expect from high-end company and you suck. Sorry for your disgrace for your company. See, so bad it is, right? Now, I put everything is a medium. Let's do a test because it's a
चलिए
half.
भी है.
Hello. Okay, yeah. So what I'm doing here, this is not such a good comment from a review com. I just click on allow. So it's still allowed, you see, but it's kind of hate, right? Because it's disappointed, right? You suck is very bad. So what I can do is that in my hate filter, I make it low, okay? And then I do this again. Now you see is blocked. So again, in your AI application, if you feel that in your AI applications, the items like disappointed or something was not good, right? You can just filter using this particular format, those fold filters, right? So that all your filters will be blocked inside, right? This is an example which you can do in the larger data set. Okay. Now, another thing example I can give to you is something which has a misspelling, right? So I go for that. Okay, so this is some person who has a bad spelling, I think, in the review. You put a camping is incorrect spelling, accent is incorrect spelling, and a blood wrong spelling as well, right? So I purchased a camping cooker. We had an accident. A raccoon went inside the cooker and died. See, spelling is died also. So how we can clean the cooker? Again, right? Now this is a not so good. It's a has some violence also, right? Accident, a died, somebody died and all. So let's see. I just put again to click on run. Is again is blocked. Now let me do again because I think at times the session is not let me do again this thing again because I think I seen this thing earlier as well. I put blood accident. So this is into violence part. I just click on this is blocked, right? Because the our AI model ChatGPT actually detects that this is not good. Somebody died and now it's not good, right? So this is something which we can do it, right? So maybe I just go to this feature and then do it again, give you an content. Okay, and then block. You see again blocked. Okay, because it has an accident and all. Now, what I can do, right, to make it easier, that I see that is a AI model has a block. So what I can do, I can add some kind of filters, right? So I can add a UG block. Okay. Now, what I can do, I can add temps like kill, sorry, kill, and I put die. Okay, equal to oh, here, add to list, and then I add another thing is dead. Okay, so I put a block list, right? So anything which is, I just want to be my AI model to be excellent, good. So I do it again. You see, now it is blocked. Now I think it did not able to detect. I think it takes some time to load it up. But again, you can have some block list that some kind of items should not be blocked by should be blocked by the our AI model, right? this is a thing which we can do internally, isn't our text model you can do, right? So this is the code which you can use it in C Sharp, Python, whatever it you can do. I can just use this first and then you're done with this, right? So this is something which we can do in our security. Again, compliance is very important for us, right? So we can do. So let's go for the next demo, the third demo, second demo. So I have four demos. One is the image content, which I showed to you. I will give all the details to you, how I use it, these contents, all in my GitHub later on, but give you the context here. Okay. Now let's go for the images. Okay. Now you see that in the images, many people can create the images, right? So public figures, everything. Also, they can have a self form, right? Example, there's a lot of deepfake happened to an Indian personality, right? About AI. I mean, some people from Bollywood, they were images for spoofed, and there were images for things. Same thing, Narendra Modi, his videos also. So a lot of fake things happening, right? Image and all. So how we can do that kind of test as well. So what I have a demo I will show to you. So I have some images which I want to show you where I can have some image, which is a simple image, right? So I click on that. I have some image about a family bonding, right? It's a campfire, right? This is a campfire. Now, by default, it's a blur. By default, in the moderate image is always blur. Now, this is, you see, it is a very, very positive image. Nothing, a kid is playing with his father and doing a campfire, right? So here, what I can do, I can go, I put a medium, I just put it to do a test. Okay, now this is allowed. Why? Is because this all the categories, whether it's a severity, whether it's threshold or the judgment. Judgment is the last call. That is, this particular AI model is good, right? So you see that all are safe. There's no issue with this. Okay. Now what I can do, I can go for another image, which is called as a violent image of a person eaten by the bear. I just make it to, it's a bit scary image. So I don't know. Yeah, again, this is a not so good image. It's a person is a bear eaten by a bear, a man eaten by the bear. So it's a pretty blood. So that's why by default it's blood. Uh, you can view it later, and I will give a sample. This is a sample which I use it. So here, what I will do, I want to check the thing. So it's not too. We see that it's pretty bad, right? It's a images, it's a blurry. That's why blood is there. So I will see now. I put default. I want to see whether what kind of filter it will go. When I click on run the test, is blocked by default. Why? Because it's a high violence inside blocked. So the our image will be automatically blocked. Okay. Yeah. So in respect, right? Because we are using ChatGPT. By default, I'm using ChatGPT behind scenes. This particular model, this model I'm using, right? I'm using ChatGPT behind the scenes, right? So that's one. But again, we can see that this is not a good image, right? So this is something which is we can filter and also see whether it makes sense for our AI model to detect, right? And then after we can make a code change or build the code by Python or something, then deploy it, do a test, and then we can make it working, right? There's something you can do. The third example, I want to give something called as a woman wearing a bikini, right? Not I mean, in different culture, different thing, but I just want to give you is not um a personal perspective is like this a woman wearing a bikini. So okay, right? Nothing much to think, right? So what I will do, I just want to click on the again. It says it will detect in one of the filters. When I click on the test, it's give me allowed. Why? You see the image? You see, there's nothing. It's just the a girl is going for a beach and playing with some toy, whatever it is, something. You see, nothing much. So it's allowed. But but if I make it block anything with this sexual content. I do a test here. You see blocked now. You see it's blocked. So what again is totally based on your AI model, what it can do, what it can't do. Right. So this is something which I want to show to you that our AI model with applying filters, different filters, we can just deploy it and share with our community or share with the things. So it's based on how you do. You don't need any coding. You just deploy this code in your ChatGPT and you copy post and then you are good to work on that. Right. So this is the second demo which I want to share about how we can use this AI generated code, sexual content and all, how we can make it working. Very, very easy things to do. By not giving, it's not code. Again, I show by code as well, but one of the demos show you later. But you would give the basic understanding that how responsible AI we can do using some tools like AI Studio, safety content. Yeah. Okay. Now, the third demo I want to show you is about the question and answer. Okay. Now, in my question, right, I want to check a question, right? I want to see in my tenant, right? As my first, I have two demos. One is for the question and answer, and second demo is about the summarization, right? So I asked my question, right? So I asked her, tent, tent cost. This is in my AI model, right? It's $250. Okay. And then in my prompt, very important, prompt engineering is one of the most important skill you can go for. Very, very important. There's so many courses. I think one of the session I did for a Pune community as well in the prompt engineering is one of the most important skill set, right? If you want to grow in AI, starting with your foundation and also with prompt engineering, one of the most important thing, right? And then in my, I put a prompt. What is the uh, tent cost? Okay. Yeah. And then my completion. This I want to check. I want to check the grounding, right? Whether it's working. So I put maybe I put to $260. Okay, so it's not correct, right? Because it's a bit wavered, right? So our grounding tool, our AI model, I have this cost, but it's called as 10 cost is $150. And in the prompt engineering, somebody asked for the what is the 10th cost, and then the completion gave me an answer, but it's $260, right? When I click on this, you see, so ungroundedness is not there, which means our data is correct. Right, right. But if I ask for a question which is maybe I go for $10. I don't know which is what to do. You see, ungrounded. So it's not factual. It's not factual. If you go to Amazon and found that this is the 10th price, right? You don't go for just you go ChatGPT. Then you said in the Amazon in India, it's $250. Sorry, in Indian rupees, it's 250 rupees. And in ChatGPT, it gave me 10 rupees. Incorrect, right? So it's not grounded, it's not factual. So in our data model, groundedness skill is very, very important. Okay. Now I will do another example for summarization. Okay. So I have a lot of things inside. Let me go for this. I have a summarization, some question. So I purchased three tents for my camping trip. No, nothing fancy. So I have a completion. He gave me something with this. Okay, tent, well informed. So this is the completion given by the AI model, right? So I click on test. Oh, it's not perfect. Like, so it's something is not correct, right? So again, when you go for AI model, you have to always click about, I think few of the question here is not correct. Again, whatever it is, we have put 4, it should be 3. Nothing happened. Let me go at 3 again. Uh, keyword missing thing. Yes, correct. Right. So again, it depends on the model, data model. The thing about the AI model is very important that the grounded data source, the AI data model, should be give right information. This is the third demo I want to give you that how it works. Okay, and this is very important for your understand that how the AI works, right? And the last one is about the prompt sheet. Okay, now many people heard about SQL injection, right? Have you heard about SQL injection? Similar thing and concept can be done in AI as well. And this happened to real one of the customer complained that the AI model was compromised because somebody injected a prompt which is not well informed. Some small company we did it, right? So we have to think that thank we have an AI model which we can is a by Microsoft that we can test it before we roll out to the users, right? Now I want to show that one, right? So uh, just like SQL injection, we have something called as a prompt injection. Again, prompt injection, right? So what had happens is that users deliberately exploit the system availability and add some unauthorized behavior in your data model. Like inside in your SQL, you can add some kind of XML content and all, it will destroy your the database, right? Same thing here, our data model as well, right? So what we can do here is that I will go and go to my okay, so here, so as you will, I put some special character, some kind of extra characters here, so that we found that the in our prompt is not jailbreak or is not shield. When you click on that, you see jailbreak happens with that. Right. So again, in mobile phones, we have seen that if somebody added a new app inside or make some change code changes in your iPhones and all, similar kind of thing happened in our concept of a prompt sheet that if some user, some malicious user, whether inside or outside, try to put a prompt, this kind of prompt will be shown to you that okay, this particular somebody tried to attack using the prompt engineering. So again, very important to do some kind of prompt engineering things, testing and all. You can have a view on my session which I showed with you previously. I think in Pune community, I think last 2 months back. So you have a view on that. Prompt engineering is one of the most skill set and highly paid job at this point of time, right? So prompt engineering, AI engineering is very, very highly paid job right now in that. So that's it about what I have given to you. What I've shown you right now is just about the basics about the how the Azure AI Studio can be used for different purpose and how you can leverage thing and make your AI model more stronger from any attacks and all. So that's it for me. Any questions so far for me?